What's up, y'all? It's your host, Sid, and welcome back to another episode of Cooler Talk. Cooler Talk is a space where women transparently inspire and empower through conversations about womanhood, careers, relationships, and all of life's experiences. Since the beginning of the corporate office world, the water cooler has been a space for the gossip, the chisme, the work drama, and let's keep it real, for spilling the tea. And while the water cooler has modernized over the years into the fancy coffee pot or the espresso machine and snack bar, the subject of many of those conversations have gone unchanged. Women. Whether it's about our hair or our wardrobe, our attitude or our vibe, or even our performance, women are usually the subject of those conversations or not invited to those talks. And so Cooler Talk is a space just for us. Today, I am delighted to introduce Melissa Carnegie, better known as the founder and CEO of Kicks and Fros. Representing the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, Kicks and Fros is a lifestyle brand that fosters a community that educates, entertains, elevates, and inspires Black and brown women within the sneaker community. She's an ambassador for many of our favorite brands, from Jordan brand to Slingshot. And when it comes to the fits, girls, she's always going to give us a look. She is the Coach Tabby Purse Queen. And recently, she has been on all of our TVs showing what Kicks and Fros is all about on Netflix's Love is Blind, specifically season 6, episode 11. So because I only scratched the surface, Mel, welcome to Cooler Talk. I'm so happy to have you today. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I think you did a great job of introducing me, but I'm Melissa Carnegie, like you said, country girl from South Carolina, born and raised. Live in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. Started kind of getting into this creative space by content creating. I was a blogger back when Instagram wasn't even around yet. I was blogging about natural hair and fashion. That kind of started my love for content creating and sharing like my interests and what I like, all from, women reaching out to me on Facebook, wanting to know about their personal style, wanting to find their personal style, or going on dates and looking for outfits. And that has, over the years, that was like 10 years ago. And over the years, that has, garnered me the opportunity to become a brand ambassador for Cantu Beauty and then be hired full time. So I've worked for Cantu for 6 years as their head of community and communications. And that also allowed me to birth Kicks and Fros, which is a community, like you said, for Black and brown women in the sneaker space. I felt like we weren't being valued enough. We weren't being highlighted enough. We weren't being supported enough. And I wanted to create that community by us and for us. So here I am. It's grown. At first it was a hobby and just something to do for fun. And it's grown into a full-fledged business, like you said.
I love that so much. And I think, when you say like, hey, like 10 years ago, I started doing this thing. It was a post that I saw recently that talked about, a lot of times people don't really find what they love and what they're passionate about because it takes a decade of doing. And in a similar space, like, I started in the social and digital world in 2013, like majored in it, had always been the kid in the family that was making the presentations, hopping on the, platforms first, and to like look back and think, wow, I've only been a full-time entrepreneur for going on 4 years. It's been a decade of doing, social media, helping other brands like make a name for themselves. So when you think about, our short lives, right? We not old, we still young, we kicking it. Right. And that you've been doing something like this for 10 years, like as a young girl, who made an impact on you or inspired you to kind of stay dedicated to things like this?
Yes, definitely the women in my life, from my mom to my grandma, my aunt to my cousins. They worked hard. They worked hard as hell. They did what they had to do for their families. And I grew up around that. I saw that. I saw how they grind, how they made things happen. And it just inspired me just as a young child to now to get things done, do what I got to do what I want to do and like to do and do it well. So I would say the women in my family for sure. My grandmas were hard workers. They love providing for their family and, they were family women. And I think that's definitely where I got it from and where I stay inspired because they keep me inspired still to this day.
I love that ad lib of not just do what I want to do or do what I got to do, but do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like those women you mentioned, I think a lot of us, we easily visualize those women in our lives, right? And we
Right.
saw them do the things that they had to do. We
Right.
didn't necessarily always see them get to do the things that they want to do. And I think we love to throw around this term of like generational wealth. And I think that's an example of generational health. Like we saw our moms, grandmas, aunties grind and just do what they had to do for the kids in the family, the men in the household. But we're at a phase, blissfully where we can say, I gotta do this for my business or I gotta do this for my household. But also I'm gonna go kick it with my girls this weekend. But also
Right.
I'm gonna, and we didn't really get to see, I feel like in my life, I didn't get to see like that dichotomy of, the women in my life doing everything they had to do, but also just kind of having like a little soft girl era. That's like super important, of when we build these businesses or these companies or these communities, like we don't, get so beside ourselves of only doing what we have to do and like being able to do some things that we want to.
Yes, for sure. I'm all about that. And because, like you said, because we saw them doing all these things that they had to do and like these jobs they had to work and couldn't try new things or do new things, I think that even inspired me to like, I love the grind and the hard work they put in, but I'm also going to do some stuff that I want to do. Like, I'm going to try to create some new things that I want to create and that I want to see come to life. So yes, 100% agree with you there.
And I would say if you follow Melissa on whether it's Kicks and Fros or her personal channels, she has one of those schedules that it's like, this looks like a lot of fun, but it also makes me tired. Like, I swear, like you own a plane at this point. Like you stay on the plane, stay booked, stay busy, stay blessed. So like we talked about this a little bit before we, hopped on to record of just, it takes not only a village to raise a kid, but it takes a village to like really build a business. So what does Mel's village look like? Like what's some of that behind the scenes stuff or, things that people don't really know that goes into, all that they see, just through posts?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like I'm so horrible at asking for help. I'm getting better now. I'm in my second month of full-time entrepreneurship. I know we'll talk about that a little bit more, but it's been like through the years, even asking for help has been difficult. And I just got to the point where it was like, you know what? I can't do this by myself anymore. So, my friends, my family, my husband, my bonus daughter, like everybody puts in the work. Everybody has a job. And, just making sure if I have to be out of town for work, Issa can get orders out for me or, I can have friends that can, pop by the office or I can, have some things at their event. So we still have presence because I can't be there. Right. So help for me, I feel like looks like, just making sure I have those people around me at all times too, just to keep me grounded as well. And let me know that, girl, just calm down. It's okay. You're going to get it done. Yeah. But also having them around me to know, like, we're always here to help, whether it's my mom popping up and helping me set up events or working vendor booths and vendor tables for me. Everyone always is down to support. And I think that's why I'm able to do so much and thankfully be so blessed and thankful to have all these opportunities and be able to successfully complete them is because I have the help of like my friends and family to support me in the business as well.
Absolutely. And I think as entrepreneurs, when we get to that spot where we realize, it's not even about if I like asking for help or not, like I just have to, like I need the help. Yes. Then we do it for the first time and then your village just shows up and you like, why was I making it so hard for myself? Like, why was I doing this? Like, it's self-torture. And I think I always tell people, so I launched Digital 319 in 2020, like on paper as an LLC, but I didn't like kind of tell the public like, hey, I'm getting away from my corporate job, starting my own agency until like March of 2021. And I always tell people like, if they're asking me like kind of pivoting into entrepreneurship, or just curious about that transition, the first thing that I always say, like the best thing that I've done first and was okay with was hire. Like that was probably one of the best steps that I did was, and not just hire, but I hired my sister first. Like she was a teacher in Raleigh, North Carolina, 11-year tenure teaching kindergarten. And then at the time of the pandemic, second grade. And then we all know how pandemic teaching went. It was a nightmare. And, she was ready for a change. And I was like, I also need help. You know, like I have a lot of clients. She came with no social digital background besides what she personally knew about social media channels. But I've always been one to say, you know, like, I don't need you to be the best at this or the best at that or the best at that, right? Like some special project or job, right? But you know, that you need somebody for, like, I can teach you all those things. Like, I need somebody to help me run the business, like finances, invoicing, you know, like client communications, plus doing the work, like, is a lot. And so also seeing just kind of like entrepreneurship in different forms, right, in our lives. We never grew up thinking like, oh, our loctician or our hairstylist when we were kids was an entrepreneur, the barbershop, like all those places we used to visit. And so just seeing entrepreneurship in different forms, even with people that are close to me, and they were so reluctant to grow, so reluctant to hire, so reluctant to say, you know what, I can't do all of this by myself, so I'm gonna just keep burning myself out. I was like, nope, I got to hire somebody. So I always tell people, and a lot of times it's not like, oh, I don't have the capital, you know, necessarily to pay somebody some full salary. It starts with asking for help. It starts with asking for help and seeing who shows up. Everything else will figure itself out. Like, capital might not be a full-time employee. It might be an intern, you know, that's more so for the experience and, you know, maybe a little stipend, little check. But I think like that's the biggest thing is when you cross that hump of realizing that asking for help is the true game changer, not what tools you can buy, not who you can have on the team, not what deals you can land, not what clients you can get. Asking for help is the game changer. Like, business gets a lot easier.
Yes. And these people want to help you. Your friends, your family, they want to help you. They believe in you. They love what you do and what you're doing. And they're just waiting for you to say the word, basically. Exactly. So they want to help you. They want to figure out, you know, how they can take some things off of your plate. So I always tell people, don't be afraid. Always ask for help, especially those who are eager to, you know, want to learn. Like you said, we can teach you these things. You don't necessarily have to be a guru at them. You know, we can teach you and we can learn together. So yeah, I appreciate my village and support system, and even just like random people on Instagram will DM me. Like, I just felt it in my heart that I'm supposed to be helping you right now.
Oh, wow.
Like, what can I do to help? Like, is there anything you need help with? This is what I'm good at. And I'm like, what? Like,
right. And I'm like, yeah, pull up, help me pack these orders to the shoe cleaner.
Yes. And I'm always so thankful. I'm like, oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Yes. Can I get your email? Yes, I need help. This is what I need help on. So people, all you have to do is ask. And those who come to you and those who want to help, you know, and eager to learn more, let them help you. Let them support you and let them help.
I love that so much, because the fact that, you know, there's just people personally soliciting like, hey, like something in me, or I had a dream or whatever, like has called me to help you and help Kicks and Pros. Like, that just is a testament to the community you built, right? That's a testament to show, like, you know, I think a lot of times people see, you know, whether, you know, ones consider themselves influencers or not, they see, you know, you working with brands or working, and they just automatically get this, you know, haze or this filter that goes up that's like, they can't be approachable. It's no way they're going to answer my DM. It's no way they're going to see my email. And that's just a testament to the community you built, you know, where people just feel welcome, whether they're talking to someone that's on your team or they're talking to Mel. Like, and that's a beautiful thing, because I think that's rare, and it's not common, and also just not what people to expect, you know, when they kind of see the content that's being put out by a brand. They're like, okay, it's no way if I reach out. And you do, and you reach back. You're like, yeah, I need the help. Thanks. Like,
yes,
that's really dope.
Always. I'm like, I'm never too big for anybody to speak to or talk to. I'm a country girl from South Carolina, girl. Hey, come on in these DMs. Come meet me in person. Talk to me. All of that for sure. So I always stay like that. I always stay grounded and love the community that we built on both channels.
That's why you just can't be a Southern girl. Like, I mean, I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. I know you grew up in South Carolina, so you just can't beat it. Like, it's a part. It's in us. It's not on us. Like, that's just who we are.
Period. That's it.
All right, so let's take a quick break and do a pour session. So if y'all have been around for the last 2 seasons of Cooler Talk, you know that every episode would always start with a good this or that icebreaker. So it will help you get to know me a little better, help you get to know the guests. This year is a new year, new vibes, new format. So we are introducing the pour session, which we actually got to play with women that were around the cooler for our retreat last fall. And we was like, oh, we definitely have to bring this to the show. So I'm going to ask Mel 3 questions. I'll share my answers as well. But let's get into the first port session. So, would you rather foresee the future or change the past? If you could do one or the other.
Ooh, I think foresee the future. I think everything in the past I've went through, gone through, seen, didn't see was for a reason. So I think I would want to foresee the future. And that makes me a little nervous too, but
I
yeah.
know, right? Like, yeah, this is one of those. Every time I ask somebody else, I'm like, dang, I feel like I switch up my answer depending on the day. So
Right.
I'm gonna go with change the past.
Okay.
And from a perspective of, we just got off Black History Month, which we celebrate now all day, all year. So we really didn't get off of it at all. And now we're into Women's History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And when you just think about, if we could tweak history just a little bit in the way that we were able to, that we were contributing to society as women, as Black women, back in the day, but it was just not brought to light. It was just not accepted. Like sometimes I think like, man, what if, if we were able to tweak history just a little bit, like what would the world look like today? Because we never had to see X, Y, Z. So I think this time I'm gonna go with change the past, but sometimes I do say, foresee the future, but I just get so nervous, like being a planner and like, I'm like, oh, if I knew X and Y, Z was happening, baby, like prepare to be sick of me. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? You would be moving completely different. Like you would move so different. So,
I agree, but I do agree with you that I can see it changing for me, like depending on the day or the mood or the feel, because it's like, ooh, go back and see a lot of things and do a lot of things different, or like show me what's about to happen so I can, like you said, be prepared and ready.
I love that. All right. Number 2, since we are both sneaker girlies, if your collection could only have low tops or high tops, what would you pick and why?
High tops all day.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm just a high top girl. I like how they look with jeans, with dresses, with skirts, with gowns, with business suits. I think I would go like straight high top. And I wear them year round. My low tops I tend to wear just in the summer, spring, summer. But the high tops year round. Definitely a high top girl.
So
what about you?
Until you called out the fact that, we really only rock the lows during the summer, I was going to say low top just because I think about just so many, I don't know, when it comes to my dresses, I like to wear kind of like cropped joggers a lot, like around the ankle. Like my lows just rock better to me with those. But you're right. Like I wear high tops a lot more, like throughout the year. So I think I would go with highs too. Like if I had to pick one, I'd definitely go with highs for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So last question of the pour session. Have you been intentionally using like AI in any way, like for your business or just personally, any AI tools? Or are you like, no, I'm not adopting it just yet?
Not yet. It scares me a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, y'all doing too much. It's too smart. Is what? Like, I just got to write a few things and y'all give me a whole paper, like dissertation, caption, everything. It makes me very nervous. I don't know. I haven't. Yes, my friends send it to me all the time. They're like, girl, this going to help you a lot. You don't have to do this. You have to do that. All you got to do is put it in here, put a few words. They're going to give it to you. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like it. Like, I've been dibbling and dabbling like a little bit when friends send it to me just to see like what it'll create as far as like social captions and things like that. But it scares me and I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it.
So we have definitely, I don't know, we probably have 1 to 2 tools that we use for like my team for Digital 319. The first one was Munch, which was a like video tool, which came in handy for last year's Cooler Talk. Like we're cutting recaps each week, literally going back to the lives, pulling out all of the different videos, trying to stitch together everything in CapCut. Like it was probably like a 4 to 8 hour process per guest, and we had 27 guests last year.
Wow.
And about, I would say, a third of the way through the season or halfway through the season, we found Munch, and it was literally a tool you could put in your long form videos, and then it will cut you 30 different clips from that video with the caption, with hashtags, with the title of like a synopsis of what the conversation was about. And baby, it was a game changer. So that's one. And then I was feeling in like whether it's like our email tools, Canva, like some of our design stuff like that we use, they all have like a little AI feature in them. So I think we like just what we do, we haven't been able to get away from it. Like even yesterday, or like when a new client like books in Honeybook, which we use for like all of our booking, it's like, hey, I have an AI response already ready for you. Based on the intake form that the client sent for their consultation, what they do, their pages, all of that stuff, it had a whole AI response written like as a response.
Wow.
And it was like, pick, are you ready to work with them? Are you not available? Do you want us to make this longer or shorter? And I said,
oh my gosh, like that's so scary. Like, are we gonna have jobs if we?
Girl, it doesn't even want us to respond to client consultations anymore. Like, I got
my
it's basically like, I
gosh.
got this.
Like, don't worry about it. We got it. We'll take it from here.
So it definitely is scary. I haven't found anything like in our personal lives that I've used the AI tool for, but I would say, and somebody, y'all can drop the comments on the recap. Y'all can drop it in the like YouTube channel, whatever. If there's a tool out there that can sync multiple like calendars, so I'm talking the nanny calendar, Antonio's firefighter schedule, my team schedule, all of our personal appointments. If it's an AI tool that can make my calendars every month and I don't got to stand at the fridge and get on my phone, and we got like 8 calendars to run this household. So
same. And we have one on the fridge too. So I'm with you. If it is something like that, I will.
Like, I'm on that.
That's something I will, look into. If it is that, let us know for sure. And I didn't know that much. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, that sounds like a great tool that we can even use. Yes. I'm writing it down right now, so I won't forget, because I will forget, and I'll be texting you like, "What you said, girl?" But I got it.
All right, so transitioning back into the conversation. You're just popping in. Kicks and Fros. Mel is the CEO and founder, and it's really built a community. I know initially you set out for this to be a community for Black and brown women, but I think for all the years that I've been following Kicks and Fros, purchasing from you, like all those things, like it's just a community for the girls, like whether we talk kicks or not. So tell us about something just like in the sneaker industry, or just being a entrepreneur in the sneaker space. Like, what's something that people might not know about your role, or just about the industry in general?
Oh, something people might not know. Let me think. I feel like a lot of, especially women who don't, are trying to understand sneakers, trying to find their sneaker style, trying to figure out what they do. Like a lot of the sneaker brands do a lot of research where they'll tap Kicks and Fros even for surveys, or just to try to figure out what women like. So I think they've come a long way from like, oh, just make it pink and put glitter on it for girls or for women and they'll be fine. I think they've come a long way when it comes to, making sure they're tapping into, they see us now, they hear us loud and clear, and they definitely tap into us for the opportunities to make sure that they're going about it the right way and they're supporting women in the right way. So I really love that. And I feel like a lot of women who they're just like, oh, y'all like sneakers, y'all just like to wear them, and or they're intimidated by the sneaker community because they don't know that. I don't know all the names of these sneakers. That's fine. You don't have to. You're just trying to be comfortable and like take care of your feet and, stylish. Like, you don't have to know all of that. But just know that like a lot of these brands are doing the work. They see these communities forming. They see these communities being created, and they're definitely tapping into us to make sure that they're, supporting us in the right way, supporting women, getting things out that women want and need. They know that women shop for the family, basically. So they understand that our voices now are who they need to be speaking to and talking to. So I feel like a lot of women, especially who are just coming in or trying to understand it, may not know that, these brands do reach out. They do send us surveys. They do, hear from us and want to learn more and want to figure out how they can best support women in the sneaker industry. And also that the guys are very supportive.
Yes.
They are very supportive in the women, being a part of sneaker culture, being a part of, the sneaker community. They're always reaching out. They're always wanting support our events and always like, Mel, is this for women? When are you going to have something so the guys can come?
Right.
We want to support you. I'm like, y'all can come. It's fine. Come out.
Right.
So the guys are really, I think, you know, a lot of people think it's this thing of like, okay, because you're women in secret community, the guys don't mess with y'all. They don't want y'all here, but they're very supportive. They pull up, they come to our events, they are in the DMs, they are commenting, they are sharing us and putting us in rooms that we're not even in or not even thinking about. So they're very supportive when it comes to, you know, women in sneaker culture. They understand we bring the style, we bring the flavor. And I think a lot of women and a lot of those kind of trying to figure out the sneaker community and want to be a part of it, you know, may not know that or understand that or think is this some kind of rivalry, but no, like the fellas are 100% down for us and they love what we bring to sneaker culture and to the community as well.
Look, so many things are just tied into that message. One, from the sneaker side, I'm super glad that you addressed that narrative. I think in any subculture, whether it's Star Wars culture, you know, whatever, like there's so many subcultures, you know, that I feel like millennials have really kind of like baked in and like just made it, you know, more of a thing. But in the sneaker world, there is the, you know, the comment, I feel like it's been beaten like a dead, or like dead horse, a narrative of, you know, women and men don't get along in this space. Like I'm like, how much do we have to continue? Because there are communities like Kicks and Fros, you know, so many others where we can come together. I think one of my favorite things that I like to see on my sneaker page is like, whether it's, you know, a sneaker girly that's posted, you know, a fit or a look, or a guy, and you see just both genders commenting. The comments are like, oh, I can really see that going together. Oh, I like that, because style is timeless, right? Style is not, you know, a monolith. And so I love seeing like each other being inspired, you know, by what we put on, by what we dress. Just like you said, like, it's not about knowing, you know, all the numbers of Jordans, or, you know, what color is this, or when something dropped, or when did so-and-so wear this in the game. Like, it's really just about expression. It's about self-expression. It's about style. And it's like, how could you possibly, you know, label that to a gender? How could you possibly, you know, like, it's always pissed me off, like, that shoes even have genders. Like, just drop
exactly. Just put it out. Whoever wants to wear it could wear it. And we have those, like, one of my friends is like a sneaker encyclopedia. I can call Jixie right now and be like, when did this come out? Where is it? Where can I find? Like, she knows everything. And it's a lot of like men and women, whoever, that know a lot about sneakers and have a lot of sneaker knowledge. And it's some women and men who want to wear them and just like them and like the style and, you know, want to be comfortable and want to be a fashion forward. And that's okay too.
It's all a part of the same culture. You got you got people that, you know, get looks off. You got somebody that does both, you know, somebody that works in the brand. Like, it's okay for it to be multiple things, guys. Like, it's not like, well, you're not a sneakerhead if it's okay to be multiple things. So I love that you addressed that. I was going to say, on the entrepreneur side, like in your answer, I love how, you know, say 10 years ago, started Kicks and Fros, and you're like, you know, I'm gonna do this for the girls. I'm gonna do this for the girls that are underrepresented, that I don't see, you know, across the industry, and how it has evolved, and maybe something you had never dreamed of. So where it is now also a voice to brands, you know, where brands are now calling you, you know, hey, you know, one is probably like, you know, I love for this brand to see me, right? Now brands are calling on you and calling on Kicks and Fros to help, you know, kind of have an impact in the way that they move and in their marketing and surveying people. So I think that it's a beautiful thing to kind of almost be like this middleman of voice. You know, not only am I serving this community who's underrepresented and just want community in this niche, but I'm also a voice to the brands to then, you know, just be a louder megaphone for that voice. So I think like, that's a beautiful evolution, you know, to a brand to be able to do both. And so being that you mentioned, you know, you're 2 months into entrepreneurship or full-time entrepreneurship. When did you know to pivot? When did you know the time was right? What was that moment where you're like, I'm doing it. Like, it's me, betting on me season, and let's go.
Yes, I always said, like, you know, I will do both as long as I felt good about it and I could. I'll do both as long as I could do both. And I was getting to the point where I was drowning. I'm like, I can't. like, be 100% over here and be
Yeah.
100% over here. It's getting busier. It's all this stuff coming up. I'm trying to be here. I need to take off. It was just a lot coming like all at once. And, I had to sit down and be like, you know what? I think I'm finally
Ready.
ready to take this leap. Like, I've learned so much at my full-time job. I've gotten so much experience. That came from me being a content creator. So I always tell like content creators, aspiring content creators, like just create, just share
Yeah.
and create. You never know who's watching. You never know who might find you. Cantu found me from posting on social media. I just moved to New York, was fresh in New York. They invited me to a breakfast, kept in touch with the team. They invited me to help out with an event. I became their national ambassador. After
Wow.
that, they were like, can you just come work for us full time? Started working for them full time and, was able to learn so much when it came to product development, when it came to digital and social media, when it came to packaging and how things needed to look and what, consumers look for in the aisle, how products popped off the aisle. So just
Relationships with
so much
vendors, like
relationships. Yeah. With
client. Yeah.
vendors, with, chemists and just everyone. And it was like a really cool opportunity for me to learn and to get that opportunity just from, being a content creator and content creating and then that, evolving
Hmm.
into Kicks and Fros. So me creating content, I still love it. So I still do it. And then Kicks and Fros was this hobby that became a business. And then I had a full-time job. I was like, okay, I gotta sit down and figure some stuff out because it's gotten to that point where I can't juggle it all anymore. And I talked to my husband. He's like, I've been told you to do this. Like, what have you been waiting for? Like, whatever you was ready, I told you to make it
Right.
happen. So I did that. I was like, okay. Earlier this year, I love my team at Cantu. I told them a year in advance, like end of this year, I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna take the leap. I can still help you guys out, as a freelance type of help, but full time, I'm not gonna be able to do it anymore. They understood. They support me 100%. Still support Kicks and Pros and Melissa Chanel. To this day, I had some work with them at Super Bowl weekend, so I still do things with them as well. But I knew it was just time. I was stretching myself way too thin. I was doing way too much all of the time, staying up super late, waking up super early, just trying to get all of this work done. So as soon as I took the leap, it's like everything has just been falling into place. It was like a big, like weight lifted off my shoulder, a big, just like breath of fresh air. And it's been month 2 it's been going good. It's been going really good. I'm excited for what's to come.
I love that. I'm like, well, welcome. Like,
Yes.
welcome to this other side. Like,
Yes.
I like personally never dreamed of being an entrepreneur or even a business owner, but like
Right.
many Black women, honestly, too.
Mhm.
As the data shows, like in 2020, I was just one of those that was like, it's time. Like, I know it was time. I think in that, space of that global pandemic, we all just had a different silence around us. And that
Right.
silence made you move one way or another,
Mhm.
and for me, it was starting a business. So I attest to your testimony just because it's very similar to mine. It wasn't a, like a cold turkey thing. It wasn't, like we valued the expertise and the things that we had learned from the roles that we had and the jobs that we had, and was like, you know what, I can take all of this knowledge and pour it into, a business of my vision, a business,
Right.
where I get to maybe help, smaller masses. And I know
Mhm.
like that was just a very kind of similar trajectory for me where I was just like, man, Sid, like you've, been managing social and digital like straight out the gate. Like as soon as I graduated from University of Georgia, my first job brought me to Dallas. And like the first brands that I was managing social for was Dr. Pepper and Bud Light. Like they didn't even have social
Yes.
back in 2014.
Wow.
Literally started their platforms. Literally, there was no insights and build their reports. Like we were creating social media metrics and reports. Like that stuff didn't exist on the platforms yet. And I mean, Instagram was like only 2 years old at that point, and had doing that for 8 almost 10 years for big CPG brands, airports, airline. Like I was like, it's time.
Wow.
Like I want
Yes.
to take all of this knowledge, expertise, these tool sets, these relationships, these partnerships, like, and just like I said, just processes of how these big brands work, and just
Mm-hmm.
pour it into brands that look just like me, that they have
Exactly.
amazing products and amazing communities, but they don't know how to market themselves, or they
Yep.
don't have the community voice, you know. And so I think, you know, for any entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs listening to this, like, two of the biggest things you can take from me and Mel's stories is, one, while ours may have looked similar, everybody's journey is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't say, you know, yeah, just, you know, quit and just take the leap, because for some people that works, and all it took was them,
Right.
you know, taking that leap. But I will say, you know, a second thing is just, if you are in a space where you know, you have this vision, and you know, you have that thing knocking on your dreams every night, and you're losing sleep about it, and you know that that's, you know, part of your calling or something you're supposed to pursue, but you also really love your job, do both as long as you can.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Do both as long as you can. I always say that. I always say, don't feel pressured like you have to pick one or the other. If you could do both, rock out as long as you can until you feel like, you know, okay, my cup is a little empty. I
Yeah,
can't do all of the things. And then that's when you have to, you know, weigh your pros and cons and kind of make a decision and make a plan. But yes, I always tell people that. And then I feel right now too, you know, the younger generation, they see social media and it's instant gratification and these people like being overnight sensations and overnight celebrities, but you have to do the work. Like I like you put your head down and do the work and everything else will come. Like you don't see, a lot of people don't share a lot of the, you know, days and nights and the hard work and the months and the years that they put into it. You just see this big shiny thing and it's like, oh, I want to do that. But it's not like, no, you got to work. You got to take that money from your full-time business and put it into your full-time job and put it into your small business. You got to make things work for
yeah,
you, and you got to reinvest a lot of that money you're making back into your small business when you're starting out.
exactly.
And I think a lot of, especially the younger generation, they see like, oh, I'm just going to be a YouTuber. I'm just going to be on TikTok or on
Right.
Instagram.
They see
It's
just the
like, do you
end
know how
goal,
much
like
work?
straight to the end.
Yes.
No, like,
Yeah. And it's like, no, do you see the work that it takes? Do you know you're going to have to be so consistent to like get to the point of these big YouTubers that you follow. It just doesn't happen
yep.
overnight. So I always try to like explain or share or show like, I'm just doing the work. You just got to do the work and everything else will come. All those things that you want will eventually come if you're doing the work.
Amen to that. Amen to
Yes.
that. So, being now, you know, running Kicks and Fros full time, still being able to, you know, support other brands that you've worked with over the years, whether it's as
Mm-hmm.
an ambassador or influencer. Any given week or day, if y'all following Mel, she is somewhere on somebody's news station, like talking about Kicks and Fros. She having her own event, might be on Netflix. So, like, what does your team stack look like in order to keep Mel running? Like, is it, you know, a publicist and a social media, like what does that look like? Or is it just Mel wearing 82 hats?
Yeah, so I do have a publicist. So I have a publicist that helps me out, and everything else is Mel wearing 82 hats. So I worked with the agency. One of my friends had an agency. We worked together at Girl Scouts. So I worked with them. They did a lot of our digital and social media work. So I worked with them for a few years, and they were just able to set me up in the right way when she had a baby. She had some, you know, life
Mm-hmm.
transitions. So she was like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to have to set you up because I got to move a little bit different now since I'm, you know, about to have a baby. Totally fine. So they set me up in a really good way to like have the things that I need and the tools I need. But my publicist helps out a lot, as well. And like people are just finding us through Google, through Instagram, through TikTok, and which I'm super thankful, for like the Love is Blind. They found us on TikTok. I have
Right.
3,000 TikTok followers. I
Let them know.
posted that we did a customization class with Kicks and Fros. Like I created something that I wanted to see in Charlotte and we had it and I made a TikTok video and it did really well. And the agency that works on Love is Blind found us on TikTok. So it doesn't matter
You
like
never
who
know.
you are. Right. You
You
never
never
know
know
when
who's
things are
watching.
going to happen. Yeah. And you never know who's going to watch it. But But right now, the stack looks like my publicist and me. And my husband, of course, he's the finance guy and he, helps us with a lot of orders and shipping. And then I have an events manager. So it's the four of us kind of making things happen. And that was, like you said, you meet people along the way. My friend Brenda, she worked for an agency that did a lot of events for Cantu. So we were on the road together a lot and we became so close. That's like one of my best friends to this day. And during the pandemic, she got displaced from her job and we were coming out of the pandemic and I was like, Brenda, do you want to be our events manager for Kicks and Fros? I'm thinking about doing some more events. I want to do events. I'm thinking about this brunch series. I'm going to test it out with my friends in Charlotte. I'm not going to tell them that I'm thinking about taking on the road. I'm going to just invite them. And at the end, I'm going to say okay, do y'all think this will be cute to take on the road? Give me feedback. And I was like, if that feedback is positive, I want to take it. She was like, boom, I got you, whatever you want to do. So she's been so helpful and intricate to our team, and supportive, and she kills all of our events. Like, I give her all my outlandish, crazy ideas. She brings me back to earth and makes some of them happen, but some of them okay, we're going to sit that over there. But yeah, so it's just the four of us kind of making things happen right now, but I'm excited now that I'm full time to build the team out more. So we'll be doing some hiring really soon. So if you follow us on social, if you're part of our newsletter gang, or if you're not, make sure you are so you can know about, some of the positions we'll be hiring and looking for, and definitely some interns. So if you love sneakers or trying to learn about them, we're definitely going to be looking for some people very, very soon. Right. Because I'm tired.
Look, and I mean, for entrepreneurs, when we grow, we also get to relax a little bit. And so, that's something that like I mentioned, first hire was my sister in 2021. She's still on and now, full time. And the team is now a team of 7. And the way sometimes I'm just I'm going to take a nap. I couldn't do that, in those first couple years. But now I can take a nap in the middle of a Wednesday and everything's going to be fine. And I think something I love about your team stack, hubby, of course, and then events manager and a publicist. I think those are 2 underground positions that, unless you work in marketing and all that, that are really what's keeping things going when you have a business like Kicks and Fros. A lot of events, a lot of different communities, and a lot of different areas, that you guys are the voice for. So, a lot of times when we work with, entrepreneurs, the first thing they think they got to get is, I need a social media person. I need this. But you don't hear a lot of people say a publicist as well as an events manager. So just from the publicist perspective, what made you, say hey, I need a publicist. I need somebody that can schedule things for me, look up different spaces or rooms that I can be in. What made you kind of think a publicist is definitely a role I need on my team?
Yeah, I think just doing so many events and, being out and about and, being a part of a full-time team and seeing how that was structured and how that went, I knew that, okay, I've done it to the point where I've gotten to as many people as I can get to on our own, ourselves. I want to reach more people. How can I reach more people? Chatted with my best friend he's also an entrepreneur and doing amazing things. And I was like, Trell, I think, and my background, my degree is in PR. I never did anything with it though. His degree is in PR. So he was a publicist for a very long time, and did a lot in the PR space. So I reached out to him. I was like, okay, I've been doing this, this, and this. I feel like I've gotten it to, where I could get it, but I want to reach, more people. I feel like more people need to know about Kicks and Fros. And he was like, or just me and what I do as well. And he was like, oh yes, I definitely think you need one. Hook me up with some people. And she's awesome, out of Atlanta. She's great. She's more entertainment, but she's like, this is so great and such a jewel and so outside of what I do, but I see it. I see the vision. I see what you're doing. And I know that I can, be a great asset for you. And I never will take you as a client if I don't think I can be great for you and I can do the things that you need for your business. So she's been really awesome. We've, done some great things. I knew I was launching a sneaker cleaner and I felt like, of course we have our set community, but how can I get this cleaner out? How can more people know about it? And that was the point for me when I was like, okay, yeah, I need to hire somebody. I have this a bigger product. Yes, we have t-shirts, we have pouches, we have tote bags, all these different things, but this tangible thing, this sneaker cleaner, we did storytelling behind it that we spent dollars on. So
Loved
how
it.
can we,
Yes.
kind of keep this going? So it was the sneaker cleaner that was the pivotal piece, and she's been amazing. We started with that on National Sneaker Day. I did some press down in Atlanta. It was amazing. We've been to LA. That was awesome. And it's just been really great to, see how things unfold there and just continue to spread the word about, Kicks and Fros and what we do and how we can continue to help women and support women in space.
I love that so much. Like that perspective, Mel, like I think when starting Cool to Talk, like that was a big thing for me. Like if you've ever worked with me or we just met on Instagram, like people know I am the anti-gatekeeper. Like if I'm using something, if I bought something, like here's the link. Like I don't care. Like it's not for me to keep to myself. And so I think, the more, especially young Black entrepreneurs, like just get to talk about like, well, the reason why I went with this person or the reason why I use this tool or the reason why I thought, it just helps everybody's kind of community and business grow because we get into this not having seen an example before us. Like we get into how to do the things. And so I think that's just like a really great perspective on the different ways that we have like structured our businesses or, expanded our team. So we talked a lot about entrepreneurship, about all the different roles we play from wifey, bonus mom, like dog mom, like friend and family. What does Mel's ultimate self look like? Like you have reached the pinnacle of where Mel wants to be. Or does that forever change and there is no climax to that? What is your ultimate?
Yeah, I think that it forever changes. Yeah, I think it changes so much. Like, of course, like, me as a business owner, just supporting and helping women and pouring back into the next generation, once I, do all the things I feel like I could do, like anything I could do to help or teach. The next generation of entrepreneurs, I think that's something that's very important to me. Also, I feel like I'm trying to get to that soft girl era. Like I'm
because I'm still like, what is it? Like,
yeah.
like
I'm ready to be there. So being a lot softer, relaxing, having slow mornings, like being able to just relax on the weekend and garden and like, find hobbies. That's a big goal for me for this year is to find a hobby that I don't turn into a business.
thing. Exactly.
So like having hobbies, having things like that I just do for fun and just, make me smile and being, of course, like continuing to travel the world and see places that I've never been able to see or thought about seeing. Like I said, I'm from a super small town in South Carolina. Like seeing like half of the places that I've seen, like going to Australia, seeing even places like Hawaii, like just different places that I've been able to go, Italy, like
that we only saw in books growing up.
right. Like I never,
what?
like yes, never even thought about or imagined like seeing Rome in a history book and like I've been there. What being from this super small town, so just still being able to open my mind and continue to open my mind and seeing new places and learning new cultures. I think that's something that I see myself doing too. So living a softer life, helping the next generation of leaders and then just continuing to explore the world and see parts of the world that, have, like you said, have been in books and never thought I would be able to see.
Yes. That is felt, all caps, FELT, period. And two things that you just poured into me was slow mornings and hobbies. And that slow morning is like, that's about to live rent free. Like, because that's really like, once you start running a business and running a team and having clients, like, that's really what it is. Like, your mornings are never yours. You know, you add the fact that I'm a mom of an 18-month-old and a wife. Your mornings are never yours. So, like, this idea of a slow morning, I just went to the gym, I came back, I took a shot late. That is a beautiful thought. And that's definitely on my ultimate list. And then the hobbies. Like, I've always wanted to just be an adult taking piano lessons. Like I
So
grew up in the band,
yes.
playing the trumpet. I always wanted to learn the saxophone, but I want to go to piano lessons at my big age and learn how to play.
Yes. No, I think that's an awesome hobby. I've been trying to, I'm like, what do I like to do? Like, what are just things that I want to try to learn or figure out?
Yeah,
But learning how to play the piano, I think is awesome. Like, being able at the end of this year to be able to play like a little song, like that would
exactly.
be freaking fire.
And
Like,
tell my
so
husband like,
fire.
okay, now we need a piano
Yes.
in the living room, like so I
Yes.
can like play something. Like it's
Yes.
always another motive, right? I'm like, I want a
Always.
grand piano in the living room to set the vibe.
In our living room. You might wake up one morning and I'm playing you
I'm
and
just
baby girl a
playing.
nice
Come
song. Like,
on, like see the vision. I need to get in piano lessons. Set.
yes,
Um.
yes.
All right. So, ending with our closing question: if you could leave
Mhm.
advice at the cooler for a woman looking to be in your shoes or in your space, what advice would you leave?
Just do it. Just do it. Just try the things that you want to try. Do the things that you want to do. Self-doubt can creep in, but don't let it. Don't ever let self-doubt creep in. Like, do the work, do the things, and be yourself. Is no one in this world like you. No one in this world can do it like you. No one in this world can be you. So just be yourself. Continue to be yourself. Don't change for anyone or anything. So that would definitely be my advice to a woman listening or someone trying to get into entrepreneurship or just figure out themselves after college or as an adult. Just be yourself and do you and try things, try all of the things and see what sticks and see what works for you. And that's how you know it's for you. That's how you know it's coming from the heart and it's true and it's genuine.
Yes, thank you for that. Be yourself. Those two words right
Yep.
there, like, will take you so far when you really just sit with them. Sometimes, like, you get in those hard decisions or those moments. So you like, I don't know if I should do this thing or if this is the right, execution or something for the brand. Like, what would you do? Like, just being yourself in that moment. So,
Yes.
Mel, are there any exciting projects or events or anything coming up with Kicks and Pros that we should stay tuned for? And then for everybody listening, where can they follow you and find you?
Yeah, so yes, we have some exciting events coming up. I love event spring and summer because that's like event season. All of the seasonal winter depression is gone. We're moving into the sunshine. Okay. So I'm excited about events. I know we mentioned Love is Blind and talked about that, and our DMs and emails have been in shambles. But we are going on a sneaker customization tour. So we're doing a
Oh, love
3-city tour for 3 customization classes. So we'll do Charlotte. That's coming up, April 27th. So very, very soon we'll have one in Atlanta in May. And then we're working on a Houston stop for our last stop. We'll be in
come down
Houston. So yes. Yeah, so we'll be
Yay.
right close by. So we're working on that right now. Some brunches as well. So we'll do, like I mentioned, we started our Kicks Over Brunch series and Charlotte was like my first city. So I just invited my friends that I knew. So I feel like we need to do Charlotte over. We need to give it the
Yeah,
proper
Charlotte
Kicks
has to
Over
get that
Brunch.
time every
Yes.
time. And then you need to go to
Yes.
Dallas. Like
Right. So Dallas is on our list too. So Charlotte will be planning and doing that as well. More sneaker cleaning classes, just trying to educate and show women and men how to properly clean their kicks. We pay all this money for sneakers. We need to know how to properly
right.
clean them. So we'll be having some more of those classes here in Charlotte and possibly other cities as well. So I'm super excited about that. And we're working on a Kicks Over Brunch London. So
Oh,
I'm just saying it out loud because this on
we
our
putting it
list for
into
this
existence.
year. Yes,
Yes,
and we're
I love
planning right
that.
now, planning for it to be in June. So stay tuned for that. If any of the listeners are from across the pond,
Yes.
we may be coming over really, really soon. And yes, we're at our headquarters. We're going to be opening it up 2 days a week for people to come shop. So it'll be like, yes, it's been my office space. It's been a year in that space at Camp North End, which I'm so excited about it. I love our Airstream. It's just me, but my friends that work from home come in and my entrepreneur friends, they come work, do working sessions with me all the time. So I love having company, but we're going to open it up 2 days a week for people to come shop. So if you're in Camp North End, you travel to Charlotte or you're in Charlotte, you want to get a sneaker money pouch, cleaner, socks, whatever it is that we sell, we'll be opening up twice a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays, starting in late March. So I'm super excited about that. That's to come. And you can find us all over the internet. Kicks and Fros, Melissa Chanel. Make sure you sign up for our Kicks and Fros newsletter on our website. And yeah, reach out to me. I love to, meet people from the communities, from both of our communities on Melissa Chanel platform and Kicks and Fros. So I'm super excited to, just move forward and get through the summer and figure out things, what's going to be happening with us for like the end of the year and like events. So I am just super excited. And you may have, I know you said this will be out in April. So I can tell you that we're going to be on the Jennifer Hudson show.
Oh my God.
So yes, that I know you guys may have seen that. So I can share it now because you said this will be out in April. So March 7th. Jennifer Hudson show. I'm excited to just chat with her about Kicks and Fros and what we do for sneakers for Women's History Month, what we do for the sneaker community. So yes, great things coming.
Look, if y'all just listen to that whole list and realize that it's only 365, 66 this year. And we're a quarter through almost this year. And this is all this lady has lined up. How are you not? Yes. How are you not empowered? Like she said, just do it. Like, be yourself. Like, and that's something I've always loved and admired about you, Mel. Just even from, the spaces of the internet, is that you can just really tell that you do what you say you're going to do. And then when you do it, it's just you. Like, it's not doing too much. It's not forcing it. Like, so I appreciate you so much for just like being a light, for just being who you are. And then, agreeing to take all of that and pour it into this space. So thank you, Mel, so much for sharing your story. Everybody who has tuned in to listen, thank y'all for joining us at the Cooler, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Over the last 2 years, I've had the amazing opportunity to connect with some phenomenal women in different careers, from different cultural backgrounds, and in different stages of this crazy journey that we call life. We've grown a community through hard truths, celebratory moments, and inspiring stories. If you gathered around the Cooler before, thank you so much for rocking with us. And if you're new here, pull up a seat and stay tuned for new episodes dropping on Wednesdays. Be sure to follow Cooler Talk on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. To never miss a drip, subscribe and join the community at coolertalk.com. See you at the Cooler.